true method.
Yeah,
I've seen that used many times.
yeah.
Yeah,
All right, well,
there's a word for voluntold. but it's
Yes.
like something more clever.
yeah. I'll get this meeting started. This is a Thursday, September 4th, 2025 Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee meeting for Deschutes County. My name's Jennifer Letts. I'm the chair of the committee. And we'll just kind of go around the room and do introductions. We'll do the room first and then we'll go online. Sign up sheet. If you're new, please sign in on the back if you're not a regular member. I introduced myself, so we'll move over to Dave.
I'm David Green, Vice Chair.
Wendy Holzman, committee member.
Diane Flowers, committee member. Michelle Rhodes, Ben Lapine Schools. First time here. Thank you.
Oh, great.
Melissa Cunningham, also first time here, community member.
Dave Roth, committee member. Bob Nash, committee member, Redmond representative.
Chris Chang, ODOT.
Tanya Saltzman, Deschutes County Staff Liaison.
Right, and then how about Greg? Oh,
You're muted.
you're muted, Greg. Did you? Still muted, Greg. Oh, there you are.
Greg Bryant, Deschutes Woods citizen.
Okay, good to see you, Greg. Anthony,
Anthony Achinelli, Lapine BPAC rep.
thank you.
I can go next. I'm Eva Richardson with Commute Options.
All right, good to see you, Eva. Kim,
Hey there, Kim, Curley Consulting. I'm a BPAC member.
Neil,
Neil Bonsgard, and I'm a BPAC member.
and you're back.
And you're
And I'm
back.
back.
Good to see you.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, I think that is it for now. I know at least Matt said he was not able to make it, but he will be in Lapine next month, and Pat said he would zoom in if he could, so. All right, right at the beginning of the meeting, we always have time for public comment. If there is public, we have some online and some in the room, so have any comments?
I'm just happy to be here and more about what you guys are about.
Okay, thanks. Are you gonna try to be here regular? Because our regulars, and we'll address them at the end of the,
Yes.
actually in the meeting. Okay, great. Greg, do you have any comments?
No.
Okay. All right,
And then we got the email from.
yes.
Oh, from Nancy.
We did get an email from Lindsay Gold. I was really hoping that, I think Derek was supposed to be here, but I'll forward it to him because it was really more of a city question. I thought sent it, Tanya.
Sent it yesterday, I think.
There it is. We had a comment. In the city of Bend at the northeast intersection of Northwest Portland Avenue and Northwest Steidle, there is a power pole that impedes bike lane visibility westbound when stopped at Steidle southbound. The stopped vehicle has to extend into Northwest Portland westbound bike lane to have clear vision of bike traffic. This is kind of weird. Striping on Northwest Portland has occurred recently. And Northwest only will soon open in Northwest Bond to convey more bikes onto Portland. Any chance for some signage on this power pole to alert vehicles of the bike lane? So yeah, more of a city issue. So I was gonna forward that to Derek, but I mean, if I know you're a little bit more involved in kind of
Yeah,
the bikes.
Derek's a good
Okay,
place to start, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
We'll do that. Was doing that and then got distracted, so we'll finish that. Okay. Do I have approval of the prior minutes?
I so move.
Second.
Can I have a motion and a second? All those in favor, say aye.
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 Lots of spirit fingers online, so that's good. Okay, committee business. So it is that time of year, we do annual BPAC election for our positions. Right now, I think in our charter, we've had 3 positions historically. including a secretary, though last go around, we decided, we didn't necessarily need to have three positions and, so we can, discuss, if there's anybody interested in chair, vice chair, or if anybody wants to entertain the conversation around having a secretary again, we can do that. But I think we're gonna do this kind of casually. So if there was anybody that had any interest in either one of these positions, just let us know, raise your hands.
I'd be interested in chair. I have the capacity for it, so.
Okay, so Diane said she would be interested in the chair position.
Question about the secretary, though, that's probably a Tanya question, is
Yeah.
if it's okay for her.
I mean, this is historically what staff has done, because like we have access to kind of posting it online, so yeah, it's been fine. I mean, I think in the past, we've had the secretary position do some other stuff, of very limited, like work on the report, but then that's sort of like the annual report, excuse me. But then that's been sort of moved around to other people. So I think it's, from my perspective, it's fine. And I think, like you said, last year, even though it's technically in the charter, we were like, let's just do a trial period. I think we're good if we want to not do it, but I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Thank you
Is
for
there-
asking.
Yeah. Yeah, I see Pat's joined in. Welcome, Pat.
Everybody, sorry, I'm late.
It's okay. Yeah, we're just talking about elections for a new chair and vice chair. And Diane has put her hat in the ring for chair. Is there anybody with interest in that position or vice chair? I think both Dave and I have really enjoyed doing this, and if we did not have big things on our plate right now, we would keep doing it, but it would be nice if we could kind of step down for now and somebody else kind of take over. So that's, I don't mean to speak for you, Dave, but that's kind of the vibe I was getting, so. Anybody in, yeah, looking online, anybody? And remember that, yeah, chair is, runs the meetings, kind of puts together the agenda, gets all that stuff sent out. You know, I mean, what do you want to say about kind of what you felt like your position was?
Yeah, the vice chair backs the chair up, but that's about it. The last year as vice chair, I took on leading the organization of the summit, and we'd have to talk about whether that's something we would make the vice chair a permanent responsibility or not.
I think that's been pretty much the same for several years. Chris Cassard was the vice chair and he took on the summit. So not to say it's vice chair's job, it's just been kind of gone that direction.
All right.
Well, I would nominate Diane Flowers as chair.
Okay, we can start with that.
Does that require a second or is not really?
Yeah. Yeah, a second would be good.
Okay, I'll second it.
Okay. So what we have is Diane Flowers, a motion and a second for her to take over as chair. So if everybody's kind of comfortable with moving forward on a vote on this, let's do that. Speak now, forever hold your peace. Okay, how about all those in favor? Let's raise hands so we can all see. Like, we got, oh, yeah, online there, okay. All right, unanimous. Yay. All right, so in regards to vice chair, anybody really excited to work under Diane and kind of, I didn't mean it that way. Yeah. Would you like to, do you need to step down at this point?
Well, my situation is that we have health problems in our family, both my wife and myself, and I'm gonna have major surgery this winter, this late fall, early winter. That'll put me out for a couple months. So I would be willing to take the vice chair, but that's what it would entail.
Okay.
So if there's somebody else that really wants to do it, or even has an inkling that they'd like to do it, you're more than welcome in my eyes.
This is Pat here. In the future, I've run a lot of meetings and stuff, so I'm happy to put my name in the hat in the future, but I've only been at 2 of these meetings, so I think I just need a little bit more time. But if something was to come up mid-year or something, you know, I
You
do
can
have,
you can get trained on the job, Pat.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, if we have a vacuum here, you know, I got a full term in front of me here. I'm willing to do something, but you know, it sounds like you've got some stuff going on, so um I'm a busy guy as well, like all of us, but you know, my work schedule is flexible enough with some planning. I can be available to help with some stuff, so.
I mean,
So
that,
that's a very loose, vague kind of like offering of help.
It's nice. Could there be co-vice chairs?
There you go.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, two things. We could do co-vice chairs maybe. You know, maybe you and Pat could work together. So then by time that you need to really step down, that he can take over, or the other thing I was going to offer was kind of similar, that I can move into vice chair position. I mean, I'm going to have to spend time with Diane anyway, just transitioning her. But then, yeah, I would kind of like that to time out as well, you know, because I just got too much on my plate right now. So, yeah, that's kind of another option. So I don't know how you feel about that, Pat.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of do that here at OAS. We have like a couple vice presidents, similar idea. I mean, if you and David want to do it for a little bit, and then as you need to take some time away, I could kind of step in, and then Jennifer, you can kind of sunset your way out of that role as well. Just give me another couple months of memorizing all these acronyms.
It takes more. We can write it down.
Yeah,
Was my excuse.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, it's a little fluid, but it sounds
Right.
like it's a good working situation.
I
It's-
would- But if your surgery is this fall, when we have that summits in the spring, that maybe you can by then be healthy and help him.
Sure.
And I can
And
do more involved.
yeah.
Yeah, I've got more bandwidth than probably.
Pat, you've not been to one of our summits, have you?
I stopped by at the beginning of this last one. I wasn't there all day, but
Okay,
yeah.
takes a little bit one to put together, so.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be the vice chair either. It could be somebody
Right.
else that wants to step up. So, okay, so then what should we vote on here that?
Should I move that we have Diane take chair, that you and Dave co-chair until January, first quarter in January, and then we move Pat in, or you three can work together until the transition is easy?
When you say you mean Jennifer and Dave? or-
Jennifer and Dave, yes.
Okay, I'll second it if you guys are all good with that.
Yeah, okay. I think that sounds
I
kosher
think it's
enough. I think the board police is gonna come for us. All right, so all those in favor of myself and Dave being co-chairs, with the idea of transitioning to another co-chair, in a few months. Put your hand up.
Co-vice chairs,
Co-vice chairs, I'm sorry, co-vice chairs.
Yes.
Thank you for the correction.
yes.
All right, looks like that's unanimous. Okay. Diane, do you want to take over the meeting, or do you want me to finish it out?
Finish.
Okay.
It's been a great job.
Yeah, do such a spectacular job. All right, well, great. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Diane. That's very exciting. I think everybody's really happy to have you take on the chair position. That also put on here meeting schedule updates and review annual calendar, and Dave had some information on that to share.
So one of the goals that we adopted in 2024 was to increase our capacity to speak in depth to some of our agency partners. And we discussed that last, and then, this recently, Kim and I put together this organization for that idea. So recognize that I tend to make things more complicated than they need to be. And that this is a fairly major proposal. This, if we followed the whole thing here, we would move from 3 meetings a year out of Bend to 5 meetings a year. And a major topic moving from 3 months of the year to 10 months of the year. So recognize that we can simplify this, but we should, if we want to move in this direction, we probably need to pick a couple of months and a couple of partners to do an in-depth discussion with them a few months of the year. So the idea is that 1 month we would emphasize state of Oregon, and we'd have ODOT Region 4, somebody from the state on the great streets and the state roads, schools, transit, and safety, either virtually or in town. And then we'd like to have commute options at that one also, because they're so related to the safe routes to school issues. Another month would be Deschutes County, would emphasize that, which has been a big hole in a lot of our, a big hole in terms of talking to the roads department in the past. Then we'd have 2 months where we would visit Jefferson County and Crook County, the major cities and the in those communities. Then we'd have our normal sisters meeting, but we'd try to add the sister school district. We'd have our normal meeting with the Redmond area and try to add their school district. We'd have a South County meeting with City of La Pine and the Bend La Pine School District, and then I forgot to add Sun River here. I was supposed to do that. Then another big hole that we've had in the past is Bend. We've always had often had a representative of Bend here, but we have not ever dealt in detail with their plans. We try to include the City of Bend, Bend La Pine Schools, City Accessibility Advisory Committee, the Transportation Bond Oversight Committee, and the school district. Oh, I've got them in twice. Another month would be Parks and Trails, which would include Bend Parks and Recreation District, the Forest Service, Bureau of Land Management, Deschutes Trails Alliance, and we might need to add state parks there also, I'm not sure. And the last meeting would be focused on transit, Cascades East Transit, the Breeze, Pacific Crest, and Oregon Point. And then we'd have 2 open meetings that would be more or less like we have them now. So that's a fairly detailed or complex proposal. And so I guess I'd be interested to know whether we would need to simplify this for the first time through the calendar, or if we want to try to do the whole thing, or if anybody has other ideas.
Can I ask a rookie question?
Sure.
How we ever done outreach with Confederated Tribes of Warm Springs, since they're kind of in the same vicinity?
Yeah, very good. We have tried to include them at our summit before, and one year we actually had pretty good participation from them, and most of the time we have a hard time making any contact with them at all. So yes, that's a hole here.
Maybe at least add them to the list. It's always good to have it off the list and hope for future.
Or you could put them under the transit umbrella and there's a couple Warm Springs tribal members that actually live. One of them lives in Pomelo. He's pretty He's on he was on CET's Regional Transit Advisory Committee, so.
Okay. That would be a good starting point.
Yeah, I think getting him here
Yeah.
for like any kind of bike ped conversations is gonna be tricky.
It's a good introductory icebreaker kind of conversation.
I have mixed feelings about the meetings in Jefferson County or Cook County. Yeah, obviously in the big picture, it's a great idea, right? I don't really struggle to have relationships with those counties, and that's only, I mean, we're a Deschutes County Advisory Committee, that's our purview. However, you know, our summit funding or support once upon a time with our seat, I'm sorry, on COACT, the Central Oregon Area Commission on Transportation. We have a seat on there, and that was kind of a promise to include Jefferson County, Crook County. Just for everybody's knowledge, in the summits, however, we've struggled to get, you know, decent solution from there. So in the big picture, I totally understand it, and I like it. However, you know, I think at the most, it might be good to just try to do that once a year and flip flop, like once a year for county and then the next year Jefferson County. It just seems like too much, especially when we, you know, have never had strong relationships, and our purview is Deschutes County, you know, so.
No, I
Just kind of a suggestion.
I think that alternating years is a great idea, and one of the reasons that we even included them here is because we've had such a hard time getting them to participate in the summit, and we thought that if we had a stronger relationship with them, then it'd be easier to have them participate. The other issue, though, is whether as the county BPAC, we should even be trying to have a tri-county summit and not just a county summit.
Yeah.
We've had those questions for several years now. Wendy can attest that trying to even get a rep from either place for the summit has been tough. And I think I gotta go along with what Jennifer's saying, is that we are Deschutes County, and maybe invite them to the summits, but to try and go there, I guess, to have some kind of a meeting. I think maybe wishful thinking and hopeful.
No,
I would say that I understand the idea, if we really want to have that relationship with them, it means going there. On the other hand, how many people do we have in the room today? A lot of people are zooming in. Not everyone has time in their day to take off and drive the distances that are required to do this. And I think it'd be a stretch for particularly the people on our committee who are working. We do have some. And just for everyone, you think, well, you're talking about like half a day to drive there, do the meeting and come back. So I think that is a bit much, and maybe we could try the alternating, but I'd also be open to the idea of, I don't know, is it a subgroup that might want to try to establish those relationships? I think to have the whole meeting there is a big ask. That's all I'm saying.
I think it's gonna be,
Do both of these counties have BPAC committees?
no. And that's been part of the problem.
Oh, I was gonna
We don't
say,
even
yeah.
have any contact.
Great.
we have tried contacting people from the planning departments in the county commissioners themselves, the
Yeah.
city planning departments, and we've just got virtually, I mean, probably we're going to their spam folders most of the time.
Yeah, there are people on our mailing list,
Yeah.
you know, from those areas, but yeah, we never hear from them. I mean, we did get the speakers at the summit, but they were more mountain bike oriented trails. I mean, and they were still really great. They really brought some really interesting information, but that was after a lot of trying.
So Kim and Neil, I've had conversations with both of them, and they had differing perspectives, so I'd
Right.
like to hear from them.
Yeah, Kim.
Just as we talk this over, does our BPAC have a goal of engaging with the other neighboring communities? Because that would make it easier to be a little bit more clear in an ask, like, we want to know more about your TSP. So we want you to come to this meeting and talk to other people who are doing TSP work, or whatever it is. It feels like, you know, we want to expand our friend group, but we don't know why. So I just
Yeah.
am curious what the why is.
I think a lot of it right now is just because COAC decided that we should do it, but yeah, we need to get a little bit clear on what the goal of that is and how to make that happen.
I think if they had, if those counties had their own BPAC, it would be easier to make the connection.
Of course.
Either the county has that or expressed a desire to even develop one. So I think it's a tough row.
I mean, maybe the best thing to do is to continue to work on making connections. I mean, we know that there are bike ped people in those counties and advocates and stuff. They're just not organized. And if we can just make more effort to get their names and, at least maybe get them to Zoom in or, when we have our Redmond meeting, since that's more convenient, really try to invite them to come to that or maybe kind of, ease into it that way.
Well, the other thing we could probably have to deal with is that when we're here or Sisters or Lapine or wherever, we have a good Zoom system. We know what we're dealing with. To try and find a location in Madras and Prineville to be able to do that may be a little problematic.
I believe the last time, and Kim, you helped, I think, get the food organized that, or one of the recent times we were in Prineville. We met out at the golf club or something, and then they kind of hosted us and Kim was able to get a food arrangement set up there. But that was quite a few years ago, wasn't it?
That was
Kim?
100 years ago. Mhm.
Yeah.
Maybe like 10, really.
Yeah.
Basically.
Hey, Jennifer, I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
One thing you might want to consider is like, I get it with the counties, but I think the cities are probably a little more receptive, like City of Madras and City of Prineville. Kim co-chairs a statewide transit improvement fund committee with Josh Smith. He's the City of Prineville planning director. He's pretty multimodal guy, I would say. And then Jeff Hurd over at the City of Madras, he's been working on like the Innovative Mobility Program grants for CET. So those are kind of a little bit more narrow and focused. I think it's a challenge to work directly with the counties.
Yes.
Agree.
Good call.
So maybe starting at the city level and then extending an invitation out to county folks if there's interest. But Josh Smith, City of Prineville, and they have a really nice building and facility that they are totally open to hosting meetings in their council chambers. And then Jeff Hurd, City of Madras Public Works Director.
This is Pat. I just want to echo, I think, a couple of comments. I mean, we are the Deschutes County committee. It sounds like already we're spending a lot of time and energy talking about how to interface with these other folks, and we have so limited time as it is. Like, if there's things that we would rather prioritize within our existing county, that seems to be more important, and getting some knowledge of what's going on is key, but we don't want to spend all of our time trying to coordinate, what's going on outside of Deschutes County.
So do people feel comfortable at this point, maybe like kind of Xing those two out for now? As least as like a road show?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Think we're good there. Okay.
Or wouldn't it be just more like combining them with those city outreach, right? Because we would certainly want to invite those counties to participate.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. I think there was two kind of topics, either roadshow and or speaker topic, yeah, so.
If we can help get them to the summit in some way, we may be able to get more contacts.
Yeah.
So what's the mandate to have a tri-county versus a Deschutes County summit?
Buried in the midst of time,
Yeah.
but I only got this secondhand from Dave Thompson, our past chair. And when the BPAC used to be a city BPAC for Bend. And at some point, COAC asked that it become a county organization. And when they asked that, they asked that we put on a tri-county summit. So there may be some details sloppy in there, but that's sort of what I understood.
And we do have a seat on the commission, which there are a limited number of seats on this commission, tri-county commission, so. I that's what I heard, that was part of the deal of us actually getting a seat at the table was, anything we did, or, at least our summit had to kind of involve tri-county because it was a tri-county commission, so.
Looks like both Neil and Kim had
Yeah.
made comments
And
that,
I can't read it from here.
yeah, that I couldn't quite catch.
I said something.
Yeah.
Want me to just say mine?
Yes.
We were it's an old topic now, but we were talking about getting people to the meetings, and I just was saying that we need to offer value to that person to spend the time to come to our meeting, like what's in it for them. Also,
Exactly.
yeah.
Agree.
Okay.
Okay.
Then Neil had something.
Neil has something too. Oh, I generally agree.
Yeah.
I can read that out loud because I can't read it.
Can you read that? Do you want me to read it?
Yes, please.
Here, I got it. I generally agree with the limited roadshow invite rather than asking to host our meetings in other counties. In my catching back up, I am double booked and have to run. See y'all. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay.
Bye, Neil.
So is the consensus that we have sort of one meeting a year that's a Zoom in meeting that we invite Madras, Prineville, Crook, and Jefferson, and we get what we get? We outreach to them, we get what we get, and we see if we can make better connections that 1 month a year. But from here. Or do we want to drop it entirely?
Well, I think it'd be worth, at least maybe starting with Derek's contacts and looking at our email list again. And see who's on there. And just maybe extending those invites, maybe even, personally by a phone call or email, personal email, just saying, hey, we're really looking to engage and then maybe to see where it goes organically.
Yeah, I think at this point, we don't really have to vote on anything. I think we know we need to work on this. Let's try to reach out to these contacts and kind of see where it goes. But we're not going to solve the problem at this meeting today. So we just kind of keep working towards it. Would be my suggestion.
So when do you all want to start doing this? First of the year, second quarter? Do you want us to do it next month? I mean, I think that's the question, right, Dave?
First of the year.
First of the year sounds like a reasonable time to me.
Yeah, because I think, we have at least our road shows are planned out for the year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that would,
So you want Dave and I to just pick some months and get some people organized for like the first 3 months of 2026? See how it goes?
yeah, for just people doing speaker topics?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just picking one of these numbers and like scheduling it.
Yeah, and then in regards to, I know there's a lot of people under bands, but I'm curious, Derek, in your new position, will you be able to attend these regularly and what's your purview? So that might help us in this.
Safe routes to school is one of them. Safe, anything mobility related, bike ped, safety, coordination with transit is all in my purview. So unlike what I was doing at CET, but expanded to all modes that are active transportation.
Okay.
So it's pretty large right now. I'm working to refine.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
So we only need to invite you for the Bend area.
And then I think Chris is gonna attend. Occasionally I offered to carpool today. She had her schedule's kind of off. So she's like, works at 3:30 in the morning and then has to do this meeting and then go home. So I'll tag team that, and at least one of us will be here in days that I can. And yeah, so.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but I can represent the city in these discussions.
Is the idea to take these numbers and go bingo bongo for the year? I would prefer that where we spread out, Sisters of Redmond, South County or Lapine, that we spread those out about every 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, this order is just,
Okay, I just, yeah,
yeah,
okay.
right. And
That way-
for you, we've already got South County, Redmond and Sisters scheduled. Or,
For this year, but
oh, start, okay, but we don't have them scheduled in 2026 at all.
no, I mean, we can kind of stick with the same months.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works pretty well.
Pretty well.
Kind of broken up.
Redmond was, what was Redmond's?
March or April, I can't
It
remember.
was March.
Somewhere in there. Somewhere in there.
Yours, I think, was May.
Yeah, you're May, so I bet we're March in Redmond. And I like getting to Lapine before we get into the winter, because the roads can be a little bit,
Yeah, Redmond was.
take it
So Pine will try to stay with October. Anthony, does that make sense for you?
Yeah, absolutely. That works great.
Okay. All right, very good. Well, thanks for the discussion. And if anybody has other ideas, this can be very, very fluid. We don't,
Right. Yeah, because we're not always gonna get everybody, but I mean, but it's such a nice list that there's gonna be somebody we can get if
Yeah.
sometime that if there was a, to come in and present on a topic for 15 minutes and yeah, it's a really good list to work off of. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
Question, do we have any kind of contact sheet, partner database, Excel, Google Sheet, anything with like names, phone numbers, email?
We have our email list, which there isn't a nice column for the most part saying who they represent. Because sometimes it's just citizens and stuff, but you can tell by email addresses usually.
Yeah.
But yeah, that definitely could use some refinement, and that is in our Google Docs, and especially with Diane taking over, we need to kind of send out that invite to everybody again to access that file. So Matt Muchno was kind of the wizard behind that, so I will ask him to just in this process, send it back out to everybody so they have access to it, and nothing really top secret in there, so.
Yet.
Yes. No launch codes yet. And one other committee business saying we're running a little bit behind here, but I know we've been talking about Tumalo Underpass celebration type events. Talked a little bit about it last meeting, but I know a lot of us were missing. I don't know if you had any new information on anything like that, Chris. I know work environment's probably been a little
Say that again, sorry.
eggshelly. That's okay. Tumalo Underpass, the idea of having like a celebration or a ribbon cutting. We brought it.
Yes.
Maybe. Yes.
I mean,
About
we're
it, or
glad to do
it's
something, yes, we'd be glad to, probably now is not the right time
Yeah.
with all the conversations happening, but yes.
Yeah,
Once this sort of budget thing gets squared up, glad to
okay,
help put something together or do something there.
right. And the county. They say last month.
they thought it was it was Blaine,
That's right.
thought it was a good idea, but we didn't talk about any details.
They
timing
said
or-
there's no money. That was the most important thing.
Right,
Like, there's no money at all for BPAC.
yeah. Yeah.
From the notes, though, it says County Road Department will be adding new signage down Tumalo
Right.
Road. So there must be at least something for that.
Yeah, I don't know if that's been completed yet or not. I mean, it was,
So do we want to try to do it this fall, or do we want to have it sort of a kickoff to riding season in the spring? That might sort of conflict with the summit planning as well.
It'd be nice if county is gonna put some signs, we have the signs up before,
Lines up, before
Yeah.
we do that.
have a celebration of it.
Would be nice to be part of the summit.
Yeah.
Everybody's here, that could be an event before,
Yeah.
after, during.
Oh, field trip down there.
January with all the center parks.
Yeah. Doesn't snow in the tunnel.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, that makes sense, either at the, around, near the same time or in conjunction with the summit. Can start raising money for balloons and cupcakes. And a ribbon and scissors. Okay, working group updates. You nor I have anything since we've been busy. Community connections, that was kind of your presentation. Anything you guys wanted to add to that on other topics, or? I think did good there. Anything on transit for you? Or any? And yeah, our hero award.
I
Oh,
do
go
have
ahead.
one, it's a statewide transit note. The Oregon Public Transportation Conference will be in Bend at the River House November 2nd through 5th. We would love some bike ped love from our local people. If you're interested in being a vendor or popping in, checking out what we're doing, please let me know, because I am the conference planning chair for the Oregon Transit Association. So you're invited.
And, oh, I had some questions about, do you have, did you say last time there were scholarships, or what's the cost to attend?
Yeah, it depends on your affiliation. For affiliated groups to the transit industry, like providers or cities or counties, we can find you some scholarship money. If you're a private citizen, get in touch with me and I can tell you the details there.
Okay.
Okay,
Can you send us some information on that, Kim?
I sure can.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you. Yeah, hope to make that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, anybody, it would be great. It's such a huge part of transit is.
When is this again?
Getting there, November 2nd through 5th.
It's at the
River
River
House. Right here in our county. Yay.
Okay.
Come on Tuesday night, because that's when my band's playing.
Ooh. What's your band called?
Blackstrap Bluegrass.
Okay.
Bluegrass music.
Cool.
You have to wear your cowboy boots.
All right, any information or anything moving on the Hero Awards? From Neil, Mark, or Anthony? Mark's not here, Neil's gone, Anthony.
No, I still need to update that logo, don't I? It was
Yeah.
the one with all the feet on it. We want like less feet.
Yeah.
Okay, I will yeah, I'll add that to my list. And I'll have something to you like, this is Thursday today, so Tuesday of next week. Does that sound good? See what we
Yeah.
can come up with.
Sure.
I might throw in a couple of my own ideas in there as well. Just see if maybe a different direction might be worth it, but I'll just take some feet off, make it less creepy, and see how that looks.
Okay, all right. thank you.
Otherwise, I think that's the only thing I'm doing, right, is the logo part of it. I don't know that much about it other than that.
Yeah,
Okay,
I know,
cool.
and I know Neil's been gone and Mark's been busy this summer, so, and we had been discussing it being kind of part of our kind of a fall kickoff to the Safe Sidewalk Awards as well, so that's kind of coming in fast, so
Yeah, okay.
work there to do.
Okay, well, we'll have a logo at the end of next week then. And at least we can have that finished and ready to go.
Maybe that should be like a topic for next month. I mean, I know Lapine will be the main topic, but it'd be
Sure.
good to
Yeah.
address that next month.
Yeah, that works for me.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Tanya, can you tell us new people, what's the time frame on like asking for nominations and the review and the all that?
It's all bets are off. We're starting fresh this year. So that's the job of that subcommittee. So the general idea was to be in the fall opposite, like, because ultimately it would be in front of the board at some point, right?
Yeah,
To be kind of opposite the annual reporting. So we're in front of them twice. And as a way of kind of bringing attention to the Safe Sidewalk Awards, which is like a winter, but that's sort of as far as they got. And that was they were gonna develop that plan, so I don't know, frankly.
Yeah, that's why we need to kind of double down on that next
Yeah.
month, I think. Or in between too, if can get some people working on that. Okay, external committee reports. So yeah, still no COAC, but that's this month.
Yeah, next Thursday.
Neil, sneaky Neil.
So for the MPO?
Yeah, go ahead.
So we met yesterday. The COIC is working on a safety grant funded by ODOT with federal money, and they are going to be contracting with a marketing firm to do focus groups and
Is that the one that Diane's involved in that too, so.
Yeah.
okay.
The
UIC.
COIC crash safety.
Oh, good. Yeah. And so anyway, they're going to be bringing some messaging out to get people not to drink and drive and to fasten their seatbelts and things like that. This was in the Bend paper this morning. They are updating their Title VI plan, which is civil rights and transportation, and there's been an executive order that has removed environmental justice and low income and minority people from that Title VI stuff. And so they are rewriting their plan to exclude those groups from the Bend MPO Title VI plan. And they will still be including seniors and persons with disabilities in that plan for some things, but it's going to be focused on the race, color, and national origin for which the '64 Civil Rights Act was written originally. They are also working on a traffic safety action plan. They'll be awarding a contract for that soon. And as a part of that, they sent out some statistics about statewide crash statistics. And from the 5-year period from 2014 to 2018, 2013 to 2018 to 5-year period from 2019 to 2023, crashes for fatalities and serious injuries went up dramatically in every category. I mean, 116% in one case and over 50% in most cases. And these are things like impaired driving, distracted driving, speed, running off the roadway. I mean, every category was up very substantially. And so they're very interested in running statistics and the county is working on this for their traffic safety action plan, and Bend will be doing the same for theirs to find out if locally we have the same kind of changes. That's mostly what we talked about.
Did they say if those studies ever factor in population growth?
They
Statistically?
did factor in vehicle miles traveled growth, not population growth. So
I know the last few COAC meetings, there's been, in fact, they're going to try and hire someone to help track some of that. So COAC's in the middle of it too.
okay.
The thing I noticed, when they started talking about causes and effects and all of that, they took into account intoxicated or impaired, and the number of accidents that had gone up because of drug use.
Yes.
Not necessarily alcohol, but drug use had gone up dramatically.
Yeah.
Huge numbers.
Yeah. It's interesting that alcohol use has gone up a little bit and drug use has gone up.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It kind of contributed ever since that marijuana was legalized in the state. It's just taken off.
Dave, did you hear the same thing? I think I heard from Tyler too, though, that the preliminary data for 2024-25 is kind of indicating, again, it's raw data, it's not really synthesized yet, that Bend's crashes are kind of staying,
Oh, yeah, Ben,
like they're not seeing that dramatic increase that there is statewide. That's kind of is interesting.
he said that there haven't been any fatalities this year yet in Bend. And so, but the sample size is so low for a town as small as Bend. Last year we had almost a record. I mean, there were like 8 fatalities in Bend last year, and this year there haven't been any. So it's hard to say whether that's a trend or not.
Right, thank you for that. Menlo Pine School District, I know Neil is a kind of liaison to that group, but you can speak to that now, or at the bottom of the updates, we do kind of different partner agencies, so.
Whatever you prefer.
Yeah, why don't you just go ahead?
What's going on right now? Well, school started. That's the big news, right? School started this week.
All grades are back in now.
Yes, it was a phased-in approach. Yesterday was some, today's everybody. And I would say it was interesting. We had a lot of last-minute registrations for school bus riding. We've promoted, hey, get out there and register for your school bus routes, and people waited this year for some reason. So we have a big flurry last week. So we've been scrambling to, every time somebody registers, it changes the routes. But we've done that. That is happening. We are continuing to work with partners like ODOT, the city of Bend, and the city of La Pine, regarding school zone safety. We see speed as a big factor. We have great partners at these cities and county level. So we're appreciative of that, and we'll continue to work with them and their TSAP plans. Glad to see Derek's at the city of Bend now as a contact with me for Safe Routes to School. And again, I want to give a shout out to Deschutes County. They've been a great partner too. We did walking audits with our South County schools, La Pine Elementary, La Pine Middle School, High School, and Buckingham is here, but then also Roseland. So we actually did walking audits with the county in June for all of these schools, looking for a priority list that we gave them for improvements that we would like to see in the way of crosswalks, sidewalks, and a stop sign, and more school zone signage. And when the feedback we gave them was well received, and I know the county is prioritizing that and seeing what they can do, like low hanging fruit that they can quickly do, which is helpful. And then we also gave a huge list to Janet Ruby of the city. So Derek, look for that. If she, I was gonna say she probably gave it to you. So we'll be working with the city on prioritizing that. And I know there's some grant opportunities coming soon that hopefully we can get some that infrastructure in place related to the Bend MPO is managing the State Highway Fund grant program. And then of course, in the coming year or two, we'll have more Safe Routes to School funding opportunity, as well as a lot of other ODOT grant opportunities. So we'll continue to prioritize our list, and we're not road owners. We don't, our road owners are ODOT and the county and the two cities. So we work through them to achieve our goals, which is, safe transportation for all. And my specific role is I'm the new active transportation coordinator with Bend La Pine Schools. It is grant funded. So thank you, Chris and ODOT, for funding this position through a Safe Routes to School grant. My role is part-time right now, and but the need is great. And one of the awesome things that came out of the process so far is with coalition members like Chris Anthony's on the Safe Routes to School Coalition, Janet Ruby from the city. So there were quite a few, Anthony just waved. There were quite a few community partners, not only public agencies, but a lot of community partners like Commute Options. Commute Options was on the coalition. So we'll continue to partner with Commute Options to promote safe, active modes of transportation. That will continue. That partnership has been strong. We want to continue that. So yeah, we've got basically a strategic plan that's almost ready to be publicly shared. It's called a Safe Routes to School Implementation Plan, and it involves a lot of active transportation priorities and a lot of input from our community partners.
Right.
I've got a question. I read an article here, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago about school districts that had issues with when the buses were stopped and the stop sign is out, people going by the buses.
Yep, red light, we call it.
It's,
Or red.
the article was about that they started putting cameras on the flag the stop flag when it comes out. And they were able to, I don't know, whether it was through the police or whatever, they were able to find people that were doing that, and it had cut down dramatically the number of cars that were illegally passing school buses. I don't know if that's an issue that Ben LaPine School District has. I don't know if they get feedback from bus drivers that I had 20 today or 2 today, or I just, from a safety point of view, just.
Yes, yes, we do experience those. I heard of some more this morning. And we actually have cameras inside our buses, and then it's a possibility of capturing some of that information through the cameras inside our buses. But we don't yet have cameras on our stop signs, the paddle that comes out from the side of the bus. So I know that there's, that's a topic, I guess you might say, that of conversation. But yeah, it's really unfortunate. It's so weird because sometimes those stop sign, stop paddle violators are actually parents with kids in the car.
Yeah.
Is that crazy? It's true, sad but true. So yes, that'll be something that will be a
Okay, it was just.
never ending.
It was an interesting article about, they didn't really make much money on it after the word got out that they could get stopped.
Yeah, and then
I didn't know if,
one of the greatest things about that is deterrence, right? If people think that there's a camera there, sometimes some people modify their behavior. Not everybody, but some people do.
anyway, okay.
Is that a conversation that Ben LaPine is thinking about doing? I mean, that was passed in, I think, 24.
Mhm.
So is that something?
I would say it's an ongoing conversation. Yeah, yeah.
You can just buy some old ones that don't even work and just tape them on there.
Yeah.
With a different.
And then put a sign that says you
With
are
the
on
big
camera.
eye. Hi, we're watching you.
You
Yeah.
are on camera.
All right, well, thank you very much for that.
Oh, and yes, I will be continuing to participate and attend. I'm expecting monthly, and participating as best as I can.
Thank you. We're looking forward to it. Anybody with any information? I have Lava Butte Lapine Trail, but also the Lava Butte Bend Trail as well. Do you have any updates, or not much going on right now?
No real updates. We're still trying to work through the paperwork. Again, I'll touch on it during my update,
Okay.
but paperwork is slow.
Okay, yeah. Diane, you want to have more details about the,
The next meeting isn't until next week, I think. I think it's.
okay,
Nothing new.
okay. And then Neil's not here, but anybody have any knowledge of the Deschutes County TSAP update?
The action plan.
Yeah,
So Tarek attended the Bend MPO meeting the other day too, and I think that he said that they're moving right along on trying to get it adopted, I think this fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, October.
Because they want to get ready to be able to apply for grants for the coming cycle with
Right.
federal, yeah.
They're gonna have one more of the committee meetings that Neil is on before that happens, but that's about all he said yesterday.
okay. All right, thank you. Oh, good timing. So this is the time of the meeting where we go around to our different partners and no particular order and just see what their updates are. Kind of randomize my list this time. So commute options, do you have anything to share with us this month?
Yeah, so let's see. We have our Get There challenge coming up in October. So that'll start on October 1st through 14th. Where we'll encourage people to log their bike, walk, transit trips on Get There to win prizes. So we'll hopefully have a lot of good prizes this year. So yeah, more to come on that. And we also just wrapped up a month-long challenge that we collaborated with the Old Mill District on. So we were encouraging concert attendees and visitors to the district throughout August to log their trips on Get There, and then they were automatically entered into a prize draw. So we had some good participation in that. They provided a $200 prize package from the Old Mill. So hopefully we can continue that partnership for concert season in the future. And help get more people walking and biking down to the district and reduce a bit of that congestion that we see around concert days. And we had most of our participants biking. So I think 82%, yeah, 82% of our participants were biked or e-biked to the venue. And we had almost 1,000 trips logged in total. So that was a fun challenge that we had for the month of August. And then lastly, our e-bike safety online course. We're actually partnering with the city of Portland to offer a customized version of our e-bike course as part of their upcoming e-bike rebate program. So they're kind of modeling their rebate program after Commute Options e-bike rebate program that we just wrapped up. And they're going to be using that course throughout the program's 4-year duration. So that's exciting. And we're also moving forward with translating the course into Spanish, Vietnamese, Russian, and Chinese. So working on that right now as well. And that's about it, I think. But we're also growing our van pool program up to 25 vans. So that's all I have.
Yeah, what kind of funding do you have for van pools now? 'Cause I know that came and went and it's back again.
Yeah, so we have some funding back. I don't know exactly what it is. I don't really work on Vanpo specifically, but I will find that out and I can let you know in the next meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Jennifer, I think it's a 50% subsidy is what they, at least as of a month ago.
Okay,
So it was completely 100% subsidized and then the funding was running low. So which is the 50% normal is the normal van pool subsidy that requires some buy-in from businesses. But it's good to know that they're up to 25 vans. That's, I feel like the sustainable amount of vans for that amount of funding. And I can talk about transit funding later because I'm still involved in that.
okay. All right, thank you. Do not have anybody here from Ben Parks today. CET, I don't know if you want to speak to that or not, or you don't have anybody. Okay, I think Bob Townsend is on the email list now, so he's getting the emails, so. Lapine, Anthony.
He said his toddler woke up, so he's not,
Oh. All right, so
not present.
Sun River, Mark is not here.
I could mention one thing about Lapine. I don't want to speak for Anthony,
Yeah.
but I do know that Lapine just completed its comprehensive plan adoption this summer. And maybe Chris, you might know about this, but they were in the process of getting their TGM grant with ODOT finalized so that they could then move forward with doing their transportation system plan update. So I know that they haven't actually launched that process yet. They were trying to get through the contract negotiations for their TGM grant. But they're also, going to be really great partners to work with, I can tell already. They're hungry. They're hungry for active transportation.
That's good. Okay, how about Ben's?
Yeah, so
Here.
Derek Hopper now with the City of Bend Mobility Programs Manager. So just working on a lot of different things. There's so many different departments in Bend, permitting, engineering, private development. So I've just been trying to meet with everyone and figure out how these projects get coordinated and, you know, what's on the horizon. It's really interesting and cool to see like what's getting planned out. It's very engineering heavy. So really my role is to support, you know, what's being built with some marketing and outreach and awareness to the community about, hey, this is now in your neighborhood. You've got a complete sidewalk. Use it to go to school. Oh, there's a new protected bike lane, you know, coming in. Let's get some people riding it. And so that's kind of an ongoing process where we're going to be creating a new kind of branding for a city specific travel options program. And so that's gonna, you know, we don't currently have a funding for that, but once the transportation utility fees start rolling in, we can utilize those dollars to do some bigger campaigns and awareness campaigns. And, you know, my goal is really to look at the safety of our system, look at the sidewalk networks, where are there gaps, where there are unfunded projects, and that's something that Michelle mentioned with these MPO grant dollars, the state highway fund. We're looking at, you know, some of these little one-off connections where there's like a, you know, probably a quarter mile of sidewalk or even less that's missing. And it really completes like an entire network, you know, like American Way. There's a patch of sidewalk that's the only sidewalk connection between Reed Market and Murphy, and it's incomplete. So somebody in a wheelchair has to navigate around a bunch of boulders that go on the street. So like prioritizing those that don't have any existing funding sources tied to them and seeing how can we get some funding to be able to complete these networks. They're kind of like low hanging fruit system. But they make a big difference in terms of people's mobility. So I'm working on that and also working with the school district and Michelle on identifying, you know, areas near schools that might need some infrastructure. There's a sidewalk project in this grant application that's like 6th and Revere between, or 6th Street between Revere and Ennis Lane. And that's going to help with some, you know, connections there, not only to businesses, but there's also the park right there. It's Orchard Park or Juniper Park. So just kind of identifying like, you know, where these opportunities are to put in some infrastructure, and then all that work will be contracted out. So I'm really working on that because those applications are due, I think, on the 23rd. Might shop around for some letters of support, either through BPAC or the school district. Bend Parks and Recs they're not applying this year, but they're happy to support sidewalk projects that are connecting the parks. So
Sure.
yeah.
So last month we had quite a discussion about the new roundabout at what was it, Reed Market, and so are you involved in the safety of the new construction of the roundabouts?
Reed Market and
Wilson.
No,
They're
Right.
gonna take the roundabout at Reed and
15th.
15th and make it 2 lanes instead of a 1 lane.
Not right now. No, that's like if it's as far as like design goes, no, like that's the engineering people, the people that are really good at math.
Well, there
They
was,
do that work, but in terms of like the safety aspects of it and communicating or like getting input from the public and,
Yeah.
you know, doing research or surveys, like I would be involved in that. I hadn't actually heard about
there
that.
was quite a bit of discussion about the fact that when you're coming one way on it and you can't possibly cross because there's no visibility, and so there's some big safety issues.
Yeah.
So,
And
And I've not ridden it, so I'm not
Right.
the person to say, but you
yeah,
have.
we talked primarily about the Wilson and 9th roundabout last time. And they've got 2 big roundabout projects coming up, Reed Market and 15th, and possibly Reed Market and Bond in the future.
Right.
So
Oh,
yeah, and I know there is like, it's called a 3D roundabout project, I think that Kittleson is working on, and that goes back to when, I think it was, Kim would know, like the COCA steering committee, which is the disability advocates, and then City of Bend and some engineering staff had some folks with disabilities that like vision impaired or blind, and they did a big tour of the roundabout. It was over by like Trinity and Butler Market. To
That
look
was
at-
in May of 2020.
It was, but an
22,
offshoot
yeah.
of that is looking at new designs to help people with disabilities, and I think it's bike ped interest too. I haven't really had time to look into it, but that's something that I'm gonna be involved with. It's like how to make roundabouts safer
Right.
for people that don't just drive.
Yeah, because we had quite a lengthy discussion about the design and
Mhm.
there were some, people felt there were some things that weren't that safe.
Yeah,
I have not ridden my bike
Yeah.
with any of them, so.
I've been riding my
I'm just-
bike everywhere through the city just to like, this is good. This
Trying to
is
get,
not so.
trying to get Ben to fix the way that they do the bicycles on the roundabout. It's a
Yeah.
real pain.
Like the Wilson one's pretty good, where you kind of have your own little lane, like you don't necessarily, no, you don't like it. You'd rather merge into traffic.
Yeah.
Okay,
Some of us, I mean,
yeah,
it's just.
I think it depends
Like
if you're
you
right
said,
or it's height.
It's a design,
Yeah.
not merging in traffic.
Yeah, right,
Even the experts from Holland told them that it was screwed up and
Yeah.
they just kind of went.
Yeah.
So, an
Derek,
ongoing problem.
I noticed that the city council has finally published their new goals. And
Yes.
one of their goals is a city bike and pedestrian master plan. Have you heard anything about when that is going to be worked on? or
I haven't.
It's going to be involved?
But I can ask.
Okay.
Yeah, and the other thing I'll note that we're working also with Ben Bikes on, there's a week without driving campaign that's coming up, and that's for people in the community to experience what it's like for the 30% of Oregonians, and it's probably roughly the same statistics nationwide that can't drive or don't have a car. And then that overlaps with the commute options, get their challenge. And so we're working on planning a potential bike ride in that little gap, like in early October. We'll keep you posted if we come up with a ride. I know Commute Options is doing like a concert thing where it's a fundraiser for them on Friday, October 3rd. And that's for donations to get like helmets for kids for biking. And we'd love to do it before that, or we might do it the day before. David, I'm gonna ping you afterwards for info on that. But at the September 17th city council meeting, they'll Councilor Mendez will be reading a proclamation for the week without driving, and Ben Bikes and Commute Options and COCC will be there to say a few words about it and then talk about some of these other events. So
And October 8th is International Walking
yes,
School Day.
yes. So let's
I've been there 2
coordinate
weeks, yeah.
something for that where we can support it. So my role is like, I used to go out and plan all these events and do all the kind of cat herding, and now I'm like supporting it. Like, what do you guys want to do? We'll get our communications team out there, we'll make sure people know about it, but I'm less of a leading, entity and planning things unless it's like a city event, exclusive event. So I'm here to like coordinate with all the partners. What does everybody have going on? What's related to bike pad or transit? And then seeing how we can, make it using the city's platform to increase the awareness about it. Really, that's kind of one of my big roles at the city. Elevate.
I think in this
Yeah.
is Pat over here, City of Bend. I got a notification next Wednesday. I think it's Ani, AUNE, the street that runs by Crux.
Yeah.
There's a big open house. Well, there's an open house next week. I don't know if you have anything to add about that, but
Yeah,
that's a big, yeah.
It is. They're trying to figure out because it's the there's the Jackstraw development, and then there's another one. It's called like Timberlands or something, Timber Yards. Yeah, it's going in, and they're going to be. I mean, I think they're already planning to redo a lot of Colorado Street there, but then on the south side is like, how do you, Ani's punch through to Crux, and then they're looking at, is it like a mini roundabout? Is it a big roundabout? And you've got the big concrete gravel company right there that I think owns a lot of that property, but they still want to have their facility there. So how do you get concrete trucks through the roundabout and then also make it safe for people biking and walking? And so it's a lot of like conversations about that. So very, very riveting things. But yeah, that would be good to attend and just give feedback if you have any opinions on that. It's a lot of there's a lot of private development happening in the city.
Yeah, next Wednesday, 4 to 6 p.m. at the Campfire Hotel.
Thanks.
So I'm gonna try to make it to that.
4 to 6 p.m. Campfire. Thank you. But that's all I have, Jennifer.
Right, thank you. It's great. Congrats on the new job.
Yeah, it's fun to have you filling a different hat and being here talking about some different things.
Back into the Bike Ped Network. Also coordinating a lot with transit and doing quarterly meetings with them to make sure that there's a good touch point between what's happening with mobility hubs and new routes and Troy Field Mobility Hub. That's the pilot one that's going downtown by the library. The city is now taking ownership of that, and I just met with Toby this week, and it's like they're probably gonna start it this fall. If not this fall, it would be early spring. And then looking at that as a potential, like, little Uber, Lyft, access egress area, putting in some bike share and having one of the probably CET's Route 2 that goes to Brookswood Old Mill, stopping through there using kind of a smaller vehicle. So
Are you gonna be based out of Juniper?
I will be at Juniper, yes. Right now I'm at Public Works.
Okay.
So then that's another big change is a lot of us are moving to the campus north, which a lot of people aren't super happy about. So I've got to find bike routes now, safe bike routes to get everybody, and working on buying a couple fleet e-bikes, one for downtown and one, I think we have 7,000 this year and 7,000 next year to get some cargo bikes for our staff to go to meetings and things like that. So I'm trying to change the culture to make it more bike friendly.
Great, thank you. Sisters, not much specifically going on, lots of public works projects going on. I think one thing that I'm having to put pieces together because they don't tell us everything, but our bike path that's going to connect Village Green Park to Peterson Ridge Trailhead. There was equipment out there tearing up part of that, and I was like, oh goody, we're starting to build it. And then I realized, no, we're also simultaneously doing some water line work, and the water line goes right under where that path's gonna go. So obviously that's the smart thing to do, is do that first. But yeah, I still know that project is still going. So this would obviously be the first part of that. So make sure that nice new water line, and it doesn't have to get torn up in another 50 years. So yeah, that's about it. Nothing too exciting. Sisters, so Redmond.
Not much exciting in Redmond.
Wait,
Next week.
hold on. Jennifer, you got to talk about when you were on TV about the rodeo statue.
No.
Yes, that was awesome. You were so normal.
No, I've been getting death threats and stuff like that over
Oh,
that.
gosh,
so-
okay, we'll forget it.
Yeah, I prefer not to talk about it. So my lawyer's present. But yeah, Redmond.
Yeah, so Redmond's definitely not that exciting.
Yeah, I know.
No death threats this week?
You're falling by the wayside.
Yeah. Next week will be our annual bike and pedestrian count, where we monitor about 25 locations in the city for pedestrian and bike usage. We'll be doing that on Thursday afternoon, as next Saturday morning.
How many people? If you have 25 locations, you have 25 people, or?
We have 25 locations, and we actually we seek all kinds of volunteer help on it. It goes out in people's water bills. It's broadcast in a variety of places, and I think last year we got almost all of them except one or two covered.
Okay.
So it's, I don't know how many years of data they have on it, but it goes back a few years. So it's kind of an interesting little point of data for us. The trail, the multi-use path from Oasis Village along 126 into Redmond we've been told the funding is 100% guaranteed now. So thanks to ODOT. And then finally, you have really received some environmental damage in the canyon thanks to electric motorcycles. Particularly on the north end, what they call the natural part of the canyon, but there's also some areas in the south part of the canyon that are getting hammered. And so we're going to be setting up some meetings, particularly with the the Park Advisory Board, it's pretty obvious that our signage in the Dry Canyon is woefully inadequate. Our education and outreach really need to be ramped up. It's just amazing. Just really not throughout the summer, but just in the last month or so, how bad it's gotten, and the proliferation of these electric motorcycles that go, 50, 60 miles an hour, and they're just electric dirt bikes. And so anyway, that's our newest challenge.
And you're able to distinguish, or somebody's been able to distinguish between e-bikes and e-motorcycles in that context?
Absolutely. If it doesn't have pedals,
Yeah.
it's a motorcycle. And the other thing is, it's, and I don't want to get overly generalistic about this, but if that's a word. But it's mainly kids who don't have driver's licenses. The law enforcement has identified it as a problem on the roadways.
They're not street legal.
No, they're absolutely not street legal. And so we've actually, I say we, I haven't, I've observed it, I've seen it. But we have members, we have community members and people on our committee who have actually spoken with the people that are doing this. And one of the interesting things is that they profess to not know that they're not supposed to be doing this. Our canyon rules are nothing more than 15 miles an hour, no motorized vehicles, which these fall into that category. So anyway, I think we've got our work cut out for us in terms of education.
Yeah.
So
Maybe it's some enforcement.
yeah, well,
That, all that land's the Park District land, or is that city land in the canyon?
it's city. It's city park. Yeah.
You're not alone. We have them here too.
Yeah.
I mean, when they start selling them at Ace, you know that they're
Yeah.
available to anybody you want.
Right.
All right, well, thank you for that. Not have DCSO here today. It's County, I think it's you.
Yes,
This-
I can relay updates from Tarek. Let's see, so with respect to transportation planning, we discussed this briefly already, but the TSAP, the Transportation Safety Action Plan, they're hoping for adoption in October based on the current schedule. Let's see, semi-annual road naming will continue into the fall. It's a fun project for Tarek, is renaming roads and then sending people letters that their road has been renamed. You can imagine how well received that is. Road projects and capital improvements, all of this is available on the Deschutes County website, but they highlighted the Lower Bridgeway and 43rd Street intersection improvement project. There's some intersection revisions to improve bicycle safety. Construction is anticipated in 2026. Tumalo Reservoir Road, O.B. Riley to Sizemore Road Improvement Project. They're working on preliminary engineering with construction anticipated in this fall and the spring of 2026. And lastly, South Century Drive, the Sun River Corridor Intersection Improvement Project. The project schedule is now done with the public outreach phase, but they still have lots of time before the anticipated construction in 2026.
Do they have a final design for that? Is this the roundabouts
I
or
believe so,
dog
yeah.
bones or
Yeah.
whatever? Yeah, it's gonna,
Yes,
have you seen the final design?
I've not.
Okay.
That is
Has
all
Mark
I've
seen it?
received.
Cause
I know.
I'm sure we'll hear from Mark if he's seen it the next meeting. All right, thank you.
And
And
just to say, I will not be here next meeting,
okay,
but I will send, hopefully Tarek should be able to be here and he knows that it's gonna be in the pine, so we'll kind of coordinate all of that stuff.
okay, thank you as well. ODOT,
ODOT limbo continues onward.
yeah,
Didn't get a funding package thing done yet, so won't know until hopefully September 17th when the Senate re-meets, whether we have funding and everything, but we're still in that limbo, layoffs, bumping, all of that continues onwards. So we're almost through that entire process. So people know at least some certainty, if there's a nothing bill, then that's what'll happen. Who knows what'll happen otherwise, but layoffs have been delayed until the 15th of October. So there's some time, but yeah, still limbo. With that limbo, a lot of stuff is just slowly being dragged out further and further out there, right? Due to budget, due to staffing. We've lost a bunch of staffing positions and we're not hiring. So we haven't been hiring and folks have been leaving and folks don't know if they'll still be here in a month. So we have a lot of super cool projects that I'd love to give you an update on. We have Oasis Village to Redmond. We have Safe Routes projects, including 2 in Redmond. Ben Sisters Redmond project I've talked about, Bend to Lava Butte, Hawthorne. All of these super cool bike ped projects are sort of dragged out in this limbo because we can't get money out the door because we're super short staffed on agreements, procurement, everything, and it's hard to get that cash out. So waiting to see what happens on those.
Well, it sounds kind of positive from press and things that I'm reading.
Yes, everyone's optimistic. I mean,
Kind of positive.
yes, assured, and the governor's extended our layoffs as they wait for that. So, it's good news, but it's also one of those things could happen. Who knows?
Yeah, it'd be nice to get it over with, I'm sure.
Yeah. So again, and it's nice. I'm sorry, this would be my personal hat, but it's also only a stopgap. We're going to run into the same problem in 2 years. We're going to be having the exact same conversations, probably a year and a half. Next long session, because again, we're not indexing it, it's just a one-time gas tax increase. So the same structural problem exists in terms of funding, and we're gonna have the exact same fight. So yes, it's nice, but it's just one of those constant limbo extending things.
Right.
So yeah, with projects, ODOT, we're updating our TSAP as well, the statewide one. That process has started. And we're hoping to complete it in October of 2026. So that process is happening. I'll let you know when there's outreach opportunities and whatnot. I think it's mostly been internal so far, but we should have some for that. Looking to adopt it in fall of 26. And then Michelle mentioned it earlier, but Safe Routes should be opening up early next year. So start thinking through your plans, working with jurisdictions, cities, road authorities on how do we start getting those lists, and I'll start coordinating with all the folks once we know a few more details.
Well, I haven't been a little busy. Last time I checked, that was something that was potentially gonna be dropped from the budget. Is that?
It's still
Back
in
in?
there, yeah.
Okay,
That was an amendment that was not picked up.
okay. Good.
Phew.
Is that it?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Pat, do you have any OAS updates, Oregon Adaptive Sports?
Not a lot. We did do our Sun River biking event this morning, so I don't know how it went yet, but I'll talk to my team. I never coordinated with Mark, but it was a bit of a pilot program, but I know we had a good amount of signups. So we hope to do something in Redmond next summer too, out on the Dry Canyon as well. So be connecting the dots there, bring some adaptive bikes out. But we're just kind of getting towards the tail end of our program season. We have about 5 weeks left of our adaptive cycle programs. We are supporting a group, not really super relevant, but we're taking a group on Cycle Oregon next week. So some folks out there pushing themselves on bikes. So that'll be fun. But yeah, excited to just get more adaptive bikes moving in different places around the county. I think we're going to look at, like I said, Redmond, do Sun River again, and maybe something else next summer. So in addition to all of our regular stuff here in town.
And are those usually on pavement or in paths, or are you doing dirt trails or?
Well, I'm talking right now specifically about our road, kind of pavement bikes. We do have a huge off-road cycling adaptive program, mountain biking, gravel, that we do primarily just in the national forest here, Phil's trails, etc. We do get down to Lapine State Park and ride down there a fair amount. So that's an option. That's really, it's all recreation focused for sure. It's not so much transportation, but But yeah, we've had a very busy summer, both on the road and off the road for our adaptive biking program. So, yeah, I can bring sometime over the winter when we get our details for next summer. I'll bring a nice kind of outline of everything we're planning for 2026. So.
Yeah, all right, thank you. Wasn't there an event in at Pine Nursery Park?
We run programs at Pine Nursery. Now in the fall, we do Wednesday evenings and Saturday mornings. So we just have ongoing programming that runs there. During the height of the summer, it runs 4 days a week, Wednesdays through Saturdays. And we'll have, I think last night we had 10 to 15 cyclists with disabilities, plus our staff and volunteers that were there. So it stays pretty steady as long as the weather holds into the fall. And you're welcome if you're ever out there walking your dogs or whatever, stop on by Wednesdays 4 to 7, Saturdays 9 to noon. Feel free to check it out. Next spring, we are working with the Parks Department to take over a building and open a more of an official adaptive cycling center there at the park. So that'll be hopefully next May or June.
Okay, yeah, thank you. I remember that from your last conversation.
Yeah, we talked about maybe at some point a little field trip, or doesn't have to be during this time, but I could organize something if folks want to come out and learn more about the adaptive bikes and get a firsthand experience. Because it is very different riding the adaptive bikes than riding a traditional two-wheeled bike. So it'd be still open invite, anybody reach out anytime, but maybe next year we can organize a little field trip at some point too.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great idea.
Cool.
I think a lot of head nods in here, so.
Cool. Yeah, let's make it happen.
All right, thanks, Pat. Okay, open floor. Any other comments or announcements anyone would like to make?
I have one update from, you probably already know, but with the transportation package and the transit funding that the Oregon Transit Association initially was trying to get a 5-fold increase in transit, that got clawed back to 3% or a 0.3%. And then it was basically a doubling of this for the special session. And then the amendment came through to just sunset that after one biennium. So for transit, there's a doubling of funds, but it's only through, I think, fiscal year 28. So not good for transit. It was going to be one of those taxes that stays in there through the payroll tax. So that's unfortunate for that.
Are you talking about the increase?
The increase, the base stays, but in the original version, it was going to be a doubling every, it was going to be consistently at the 0.2% payroll tax. So that was an unfortunate.
Yeah.
Happened.
I mean, it still might continue, but yeah, you don't want to go out and buy a bus.
No,
Like,
no.
You
You need
spending, yeah.
you need a long-term vision for planning and transit. So.
But on the bright note that one of the proposals was to eliminate the funding for bike and pedestrian in order to make whole the rest of
Yeah.
operations. So,
Yes,
so we're fortunate that we're at least
yes.
that's staying in right now.
It was trying to repurpose non-highway dollars to
Mhm.
be used for highways. But yeah, that didn't go to.
All right. Good news, some not so good news, and some limbo news. Anybody else? I just want to say, thanks for letting me be your chair for a year. I really enjoyed it. I wish I could have done more and better, especially with weird agenda, schedule and technical difficulties, but the mayor thing kind of sucked up some of my time that I didn't know when I took this on a year ago. So thanks for being patient with me.
Well, thanks, Jennifer.
No, thank you. I mean, with everything else and sisters you for this.
You pick up your certificate for your lobster dinner.
Okay, yeah. Delicious. But yeah, obviously not going anywhere. I have no interest in leaving this committee by any means. So,
You're still the City of Sisters rep.
yes, the City Sisters rep, and I'm really excited that Diane's taken over. And yeah, we'll talk and share all the secrets and the handshakes, secret handshakes, all that kind of stuff. So, with that, any other comments? We can call this meeting adjourned, and we'll see you next month in La Pine. Right, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Is that one also, that's not gonna have Zoom, is that in person only, La Pine?
It will have Zoom.